We have quite a few different Love After Lockup updates we need to talk about in this video. First, starting off with Andrea and Lamar. So Lamar has been locked up in prison for a hot minute after he was caught with a firearm once again, and he got charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm. Despite being sentenced to prison, Andrea decided to stick by her husband, and he is now officially a free man once again, and he's reunited with Andrea, her kids, and his kids. And looks like Lamar has lost quite a bit of weight since going to prison this time, and let's just hope he's able to stay out and be there with his family. And now I want to talk about Puppy. So we talked a little while ago that Puppy was back in jail, and we really didn't know why. We just knew that she was sent back due to a probation violation. Last week, a friend posted a picture on Puppy's Facebook saying, "Update, Puppy's serving the rest of her sentence in prison, and she needs all your help. Can you please help her get through these next few months?" Her friend then posted Puppy's CASHAPP, and someone asked in the comments how long is her sentence, and Puppy's friend said maybe until the end of June. So it looks like she only has a few more months left to go. And now I want to talk about Daonte. So I just interviewed with Daonte and his new girlfriend Addie just a few days ago, and during the interview they were talking about how they were wanting to eventually move in with each other. They've only been together for a few months, but she said she wants to try to move up and be closer to Daonte and maybe try to work at a club by Daonte because she really doesn't feel safe. She said she felt like a target in the city that she was working at, and she said she doesn't really have anybody that she knows by her because she went to some club that was like 2 hours away from all her friends and family. So I was shocked to see that after my interview, Daonte decided to finally make a post announcing that Addie was his girlfriend. And after he decided to let the whole world know about Addie, she decided to pack her bags, quit her job, and moved up to Virginia to be with Daonte. She said no more long distance, and then she posted a picture of her dancing with some girl, and she says, "Goodbye, Myrtle. My first experience working at a club," and she was talking about how great the girls treated her. And her and Daonte were live earlier, and she is now staying with Daonte, and they're like in this transitional phase where I'm not sure if they're like staying in a hotel or an Airbnb, but she said that she plans to try to get a job working up there dancing. Daonte said he doesn't mind her dancing, but it's definitely not something he wants her to do for the rest of her life. So they are officially living together now. And now I want to talk about Mandy and Maurice, because the last time I spoke on these two, they were still currently locked up. And after my last video, they both ended up getting released. Mandy ended up getting released by a court order, and then that same night after she was released, she went to the jail and she bonded Maurice out. So she's now out of jail with him, and she's on an ankle monitor. I'm not sure if he's on an ankle monitor too, but she has been posting these pictures claiming that they have court coming up for a divorce hearing between Maurice and Jessica. It shows on the top request for order, and they have other marked with divorce written on the side of it, and it has Jessica's name, and then it says a hearing is set for May 13th. So Mandy said, "Me and hubby handling business today. Yeah, no more talking. We got our date for the finalization of this divorce. We can't wait for it to all be over in May so we can renew our marriage." So she has been posting her marriage certificate, that she claims is her marriage certificate, and she's been saying that their third wedding anniversary is here in 2 months and 22 days. But the interesting part is, on this alleged marriage certificate, it is marked for August. So that means your marriage anniversary or whatever would at least be for another 4 months. So the math is not mathing here, but I don't even believe that's a marriage certificate to begin with. And I feel like that's why she's trying to rush this divorce from Jessica, because she wants to finally be Miss Gibson. Now I want to talk about Taylor's sister Bobbie and her boyfriend. Some of what we're about to talk about is from the past few weeks, and some of what we're about to talk about is from the past few days. So let's start with the most recent stuff. So Bobbie has been posting on her Facebook and on her Instagram that she is in the process of eliminating negative people from her life. Then I noticed Bobbie's boyfriend, Scott, changed his relationship status to single on Facebook. And then he said, somehow, random females keep being removed from my page. You rather have my page looking crazy with no females on here, just a bunch of dudes? Yo, that's gay. Hashtag weird. And someone said, who's removing them? Facebook? And he just said someone. And then Bobbie posted on her Instagram and she said, this is my Cash App. Look, I honestly don't want to do this, and it's already embarrassing enough to ask because I get trashed all over the internet for asking, but right now I'm literally going through way too much. At first I thought this was her saying, look, me and Scott broke up, I had to move out, I need somewhere to go, I need some funds. But at first, she was just saying, I've been trying to get into shelters. I don't have the funds right now. Then I noticed by the second paragraph, she started saying we, and she said, I'm waiting for my first full check so we can move into the apartment that we got approved for. But right now, we don't have nowhere and nothing because I involved myself with fake friends that faked a fallout for her dude. It's all right, though. Please, no hateful comments. So it looks like her and Scott are still together and they're still trying to get this place they've been talking about for a hot minute. This is where I'm a little confused though, because I could have sworn when she was trying to stay with Taylor, wasn't she claiming, oh, just let us stay the night for one night and then we have a place we're going to? Like, this place seems like it just keeps getting pushed off more and more. And then Scott posted, no matter what you do, if the person you're dating isn't fully healed, they'll always assume and or accuse you of doing something wrong, even if you're doing everything right. You must take time to work on yourself. Then he explains that it's important that people know their roles in a relationship. Then I noticed that Bobbie and Scott suddenly changed their relationship status that same day to back to being in a relationship with each other. So it looks like things are good again. And she posted after they were having problems, well, at least after he changed his relationship status for a while, she said, you and all your relationships are trauma bonds. And at first I thought she was talking about Scott, but now I believe she's talking about Scott's baby mama here. And she said, because you are the one that hurts people. Your ex-husband was the bad one. All your exes were the bad one. And that's odd how every single one of them were so bad to you, yet you stayed until they left you. Who's the sick puppy? Well, I mean, that is called a trauma bond. And she said, I don't know what you heard or seen, but I don't go through what apparently he put you through. Which is so weird because according to you, he's a cheater, a liar, he hurts people. But I haven't experienced that. But then again, I'm not a crazy psycho. He hasn't had to come save me from taking pills and overdoing it because you hate your life and you deliberately tried unaliving yourself to get his attention. How effing lame. Girl, I've heard so many crazy stories about you. Cutting your arms not deep, but you just deep enough to make it bleed, to send him pictures to make him feel bad. He should have got away from you the moment you asked him to move in with you an hour after talking. Me and you are completely different, and of course we're gonna have a different relationship with him. He's never had to pick me up from a mental hospital. You said go bake a cake or something. One thing about me, I'm actually a badass cook. You may be too drunk to cook, but not me. But I got things to do. It's called a job. You should learn about it. How the F you haven't had a job in 20 years? Because you can't leave your son for more than a few hours, but you'll leave him for some D. you're a poor excuse for a mother. I wonder what ruffled her feathers all of a sudden, because Scott's baby mama, she's been completely silent about the both of them, at least on Facebook that I've seen, since she responded a few weeks ago, and we'll get to that in a moment. So after my last video I made talking about Scott, after I looked up his charges and seen that he has some DV charges from his ex, he spoke out and he wanted to share his side on Facebook. So this is what he said. Last night I got a chance to chop it up with my producer and I laid everything out for him. A lot of times we have conversations that don't involve music. I told about how in my past I had things thrown at me. I was spit on, slapped, bitten, and close fist punched by a woman, but I never called the cops nor pressed charges. I feel like women should never put their hands on a man the same as a man shouldn't put his hands on a woman. Understand there's always more to the story. All women should be held accountable for what they do and not be labeled as a victim when in actuality they're the agitator. Then the ex responded. She said, WTF. My sperm donor said I have 6 kids and never been married. Sounds like my karma. Last I checked, you and my ex wanted to marry me, but it was a hard pass. I won't just marry anyone or even get engaged with just anyone. I take that ish serious. I'm sorry that you tell every chick that you get with that you want to marry them and then you beat them into submission. Now that's a red flag. You can sit there and try to belittle me all you want and try to say how horrible of a mother I am, but guess what, buddy? I've been here since day one, doing it every day, by myself. Where have you been, right? All trying to be a terrible rapper that can't rap and saying F your kids because I don't want to be with you and I left you at your big age. You should let that go and just focus on washing the dishes you wash. But guess what? At the end of the day, all 6 of my kids know mommy was always there and never folded on them, ever. Until the day I die, I'll forever be the best mom I can be to all 6 of my kids. And let me say that again, since you like to highlight it so much, all 6 of my kids. I'm proud of the woman I have become, fighting through all the trauma I got from 16 to 31. I still have a long way to go, but at least I can say I've grown and not still a bitter person because you left on a porch step. And Scott responded and he shared some screenshots of a conversation between Bobbie and his baby mama. And he says, look, I'm such a wussy, but based on the first message, I don't think so. Yeah, I see my kids. That won't happen again, according to you. So let's get into this. Line number 1, I'm not a sperm donor. Line number 2, I never wanted to marry you. Line number 3, you have not been doing everything by yourself because me and my dad have assisted with buying clothes, shoes, etc. that were returned by you to get the money countless times. You've gotten food stamps and WIC from the government for all of your kids. Nothing wrong with that, but the government has also helped you along with both of your parents. I'm not a terrible rapper. That's simply just your opinion. I'm not bitter, but you are, and that's why you posted this on your page. And then he says, show me the proof of me putting hands on my kids because there aren't any records of it. Where are all these women I put hands on? Because there's no record of that either. There is a record of him putting hands on a female and he was found guilty of it. And he shared these conversations between his baby mama and Bobbie was pretty much trying to talk his baby mama into letting him see his kids. And she was pretty much like, no, you don't get to pick and choose when you see your kids, when you haven't seen your kids in over a year. And I guess apparently he was able to see his kids in December, but the mom, that was not by her choice. Apparently she got a call from Scott's mom, and she's like, oh, I want to see my grandchildren. And she's like, okay, well, I don't want them seeing Scott. And she sent the kids over there, and she called Scott and still had him come over and see the kids, even though the mother didn't want that to happen. And after she found out about that, she said, look, it's not going to happen again. If she can't respect my boundaries, that I don't want Scott coming around my children, then she's not going to see her grandchildren no more. After all the drama and the post that Scott made, Stacy, Scott's baby mama, she posted, contacted his PO, I filed child support, I contacted the police, and someone said, I wish you could be there to see his face when everything unfolds. Hell, I want to see too, damn it. And she responded and she said, girl, me too. He's out here now posting the end of a conversation instead of posting why I responded that way, trying to make me look crazy. But I don't even care. I'm going to have the last laugh, and I bet when his PO calls him or pops up, whatever she's going to do, that his heart's gonna drop to his balls. And then when he gets a child support letter, and I'm going for back support too, laughing my butt off, sheesh. Ooh, Scott, you done effed up, because she's coming for back support. Oh God, for all the years going back, she claims that he didn't pay child support. Oh yeah, she's about to get paid. He done effed up. And then she said, he's a clown. He was literally going back and forth with my oldest, and he kept saying it was me, and then went and said our 14-year-old doesn't have a phone and can't read or write. My whole mind blew up. And she's responding because when I made that video talking about how Scott had been arrested for DV in the past, her son, Scott's son, and Stacy's son commented on the video and pretty much confirmed what the mother was saying. I ended up talking about that comment in my next video after that, and Scott responded, and he claims that was not his son. He claims it was his son's account, but he claims that was his baby mama leaving comments under his son's account. But that is it for this video, guys. We only got like, what, 3 or so weeks left, or less than that, before the new season of Love During Lockup is finally here. I cannot wait. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.